I used to be one of those guys that would do that would end over time. I learned that you really can't do that. You have to. Okay, so you walk into a job, it's your first day, and in this case it's the tub area, and you gotta install the bagger board, and then you have to install the tile. So what's the first thing you do? Well, the first thing you do is to make sure there's no damage to the tub. And then once you verified that, then you can go ahead and cover it, protect it, and then start installing your board. So when I got here, there was a bunch of stuff in the tub. So took all that out, and this is what I found in there. Really not too much in here, a little bit of dust, a little bit of sheetrock stuff. But I looked it over. I haven't looked it over completely yet, but I did look it over a little bit, and I found this one little mark here. So what do? Just leave it alone? Don't tell anyone? No. You inform the homeowner, the GC, whoever's in charge, who's ever responsible, and show them that the tub is damaged. It's only slight. This can actually probably be polished out without a problem. But you want to make sure that they don't hold you responsible for the damage to the tub. So now I'm gonna clean it out. I'm gonna inspect it fully, and then I'm gonna protect the tub so that I don't damage it, because if I damage it, then I'm responsible for it. Okay, so I just started cleaning the tub. I showed you this dot over here, and then as I was cleaning it, I found these marks here. These are like indentations. They won't come off. And then there's this little crack or a scratch right there. So this is why I inspect the tub. Okay, so I cleaned out all the tub. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure you get anything that could scratch the tub out of it. It's pretty clean, and I showed you the defect here and the defect here. Now, on this one here, we got the board's going to sit on the lip. I don't like to do that, but that's just the way it is. I like to have it actually sit on the tub. Like here, it's going to sit on the tub, but I can't do anything about that. This is the same way. So we're going to put the board sitting on the lip. We're going to put a piece of sealant on there, and then we're going to put more sealant to seal that joint. I checked all these studs. They're actually really flat. They're really good. I need 1/2 inch board here. I need 1/2 inch board over here. And this is going to have to be 5/8, so we're going to have to shim this out about 1/8 or so. So we'll figure that out in a little bit. So let's cover this tub. So I know my board is going to come out to 1/2 inch to here, and then my tile is going to overlap that, and it's going to come out 3/8 to here. So when I put my tape on, I want the tape to be far enough away from where the tile is going to go so that the tile does not sit on the tub and I don't have to struggle getting the tape out. Okay, so got the tape all the way around, and I am far enough away so when I get my board on and then I get my tile on, I am going to be I'm not going to be sitting on the. Okay, so I got the whole tub protected so that it won't get damaged as I install the tile. Okay, so I got a couple of pieces up. I got this other piece up. It would be nice to be able to start in the corner and get, put another whole piece on the side, but the studs just wouldn't line up. There was nothing that I could get like 48 was from this side, from that corner to this side, would line up in the middle of a stud bay. 48 from that side to this side line. So I just put it from one stud to the other stud, and then I'm cutting the two sides in, and then these are going to be single pieces over here. The studs are really good, flat, so I really didn't have to do anything to firm them out or anything. Okay, so I got all the board up. So this was an easy one. It's just basically 3 sheets and 7.5 inch piece there, like a 9.5 inch piece there, and gonna need to put some banding over here and some banding over here, and then the whole thing's gonna be completely waterproof. Okay, so you got your whole tub all waterproofed, and it's all ready to go except for this corner here, which technically is outside the the water or the wet area. But typically what you find is if you don't waterproof this area down here, over time when water drips along it, it will get wet and it'll get soft, and the sheetrock will get moldy and rot away. So what you need to do is make sure that you always bring your tile out at least a couple of inches beyond the tile, beyond the tub, and make sure you waterproof it. I haven't put this on here, I just want to show you what I have here. So I got this banding that I am going to put on here and make sure this is all completely waterproof all down here, so if water drips down here it will not affect the sheetrock and rot away. If you're not using a sheet membrane or a hydrovan board or a foam board of any, and you're using a liquid applied waterproofing membrane, make sure you bring your liquid applied waterproofing membrane out beyond the tub and you tile down the side of the tub so that you don't get any water dripping down there, because it will drip over time and you get that sheetrock will rot away. You want to avoid that. I used to be one of those guys that would do that would end the tile right at the edge of the tub, but over time I learned that you really can't do that. You have to bring the tile out beyond the tub to avoid having problems with the sheetrock that touches the tub. So that's on all the way up and down, and on this side as well. So that now, that sheetrock over there is protected. I have my shower all waterproofed. I got all the water on. Everything is all completely ready for tile. There's not going to be a niche in this one. It's just going to be like a shelf in one corner over there. So this is actually going to be a pretty easy layout and a pretty quick install. So you're ready for tile. What's the next step? Well, you don't just start laying tile. You have to figure out what your cuts are going to be, and you're going to have to figure out your layout. So that's what I've done here. So this is my center line here, and this is the tile we're using. It's a 12 by 24 inch tile. So if I start with a tile in the middle, it's going to be a running bond. I get a good piece here, and it's going to be a little bit less than a full tile over here. So it's going to have to cut off about this much in the corner. So there's two ways of handling this. You could use a drop off to start your next row and then get a full tile over here, and then whatever you get you cut along the bullnose, which is going to end up with a small piece. Every other piece is going to be a small piece. So we decided, we talked with the homeowner, we're going to start with a 1.5 over here alongside. The bullnose comes straight up and down, straight up along the edge of the tub. So we're going to start with a full piece over here, and then we're going to match the small piece with the larger cut piece to make it look like the tile wraps around and it's a full tile. Even though it's going to be longer when you measure it than a full tile, it's going to look like it's a full tile around the corner. It's better than getting the small piece in the corner and then another small piece over here. Visually it's going to look perfectly fine. So that's what we decided to do. I think it's just going to look better that way. You're not going to notice that when you add up the piece in the two pieces in the corner, it's actually more than a full tile. So, and on the other side, exactly the same thing. So that's what I'm doing. I got my layout done. Just gonna, the tub is pretty level, but I'm just gonna make sure that I don't have to cut anything to start with a full tile. I may have to cut a little bit, but we'll see in a second. Okay, so I got my laser going, and so I measured from the tub to the laser all the way around, and this tub is actually pretty level. Not might be like like a 1/16 of an inch over here. So I can start with a full tile on the tub and just go. Okay, so I got my first row on. I made sure that I'm perfectly plumb and perfectly level, and the tub is actually really good. So now I'm going to build up and just keep going up. There's no niche, there's no nothing, so it's going to go quick. Got a few tiles up. See what I mean about that corner there? Kind of looks like the full tile going around. There's no way I could master grain on these. I usually like to master grain, but because I'm using different tiles, it's kind of difficult to do. Anyway, that's the look. It's better than having a small piece over here. We got a full tile and a half tile. I think that looks pretty good. Do the same on my side. Okay, so I knocked out all the clips in this shower stall, this tub area, and I cleaned it up a little bit, but I just want to show you something that I do to help keep these leveling clips in place, so that as the thin set dries, it doesn't push them out, because thin set as it dries, it tends to harden and it tends to push the leveling clips out if there's nothing restraining them and holding them in place. So what I do is, so I get a piece of scrap tile and I just put the clips in, and then I put the wedges in backwards, and that way the clips are held in place and they'll be in the right position. If you don't do that, the thin set tends to push these out and you tend to get a wider grout line, so you're going to have to pull these out, make some room for the new clip and then push them so that they're sitting against the tile and you get your proper space. Okay, so I have to mark this tile to cut that hole. So the easiest way to do that, if you've got the room, is put a square on the tile on the bottom, bring a line up and down. Same on the other side, bring a line up and down. Then get your level, put a line over here, put a line over there, and now it's easy enough to mark that. I held my tile. That's to go right along this edge here. I mark this line here. Corresponds to that. I mark this line here. Corresponds to that. This line. And this line. So, let's check that again. Make sure I got it right. And I do. And get a square. That line, that line, that line, and if you've got a hole saw, you just make sure the edges of the hole saw line up with these lines. So you just put it in the middle, make sure it lines up. If the hole saw is a little bit bigger, just make sure it overlaps evenly all the way around. So let me cut this hole. And that's it. Perfect fit.